All right, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Hey, this is the day that the Lord have made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it this morning. Thank y'all so much for tuning in today. Hey, ran into a few technical problems this morning, but hey, nevertheless, we're here. So come on in and share and like, tag, and invite. Get as many people as you can to be a part today. I greatly, greatly appreciate you for joining us this morning. Today is going to be a life-changing day. It's going to be an incredible day. It's going to be an encouraging day. So y'all come on in, share, like, tag, invite. Get as many people as you can to be a part today. Let them know that Pastor Perryman is on today. Hey, we had to come inside this morning. Well, we didn't get outside this morning just simply because we were having some technical challenges this morning. So I had to just go with the quick setup, which is right here. But nevertheless, we're here this morning. So come on in, share, like, tag, invite, get as many people as you can to be a part today. Let them know that Pastor Perryman is in the house today. Today is going to be life changing. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be encouraging. It's going to be motivating. It's going to be uplifting today. It's going to be Jesus, and it's going to help you get to the next level of your life. So come on in, share, like, tag, invite. And again, get as many people as you can to be a part today. Big shout out to Miss Danetta Hines. She's the first person on this point. I don't know why I want to keep saying Minister Danetta Hines, but I'm going to stay out of that one. But big shout out to Miss Danetta for being on today. Shout out to you today. Thank you so much for being on. Shout out to my wife, Pastor Sophia, who's on today. Shout out to Ms. Abigail Yates is in the house. My brother Timothy Price is in the house. Shout out to Johnny. What up, man? Good to see you today, brother. Thank you so much for being on today. I'm telling you, today is going to be an incredible day for you. So get your coffee, your water, your juice, your tea, whatever you're drinking this morning, go get it so we can have a great time in the Lord today. And I'm believing that God's really going to say something that's going to encourage your faith and start you down. So take this opportunity, share with at least 5 people this morning, with at least 5 people today. Let them know that Pastor Perryman is on this morning, and there's going to be something that's going to be said to help you get to where you need to go, right? 2 days in a row, I'm drinking tea. Oh my God, I'm struggling with it too. But anyway, it's good. It's good. So let's get ready to get into it this morning. Trying to see if anybody else showed up this morning that I can say good morning to. I don't want to miss anybody today. I don't want people to think that, hey, we're not here for them. But listen, remember, we broadcast on YouTube this morning. We broadcast on Instagram this morning. We're broadcasting on our Facebook pages today. So, hey, you guys can catch us on many platforms this morning, all right? Hey, Miss Desiree, good to see you this morning. Thank you so much for being on this morning as well. So let's get ready to get to it today. I was trying to really figure out what should I say to God's people. Hey, Miss Kelly, and because at the end of the day, only God knows what you need. I can't say what you need because I don't know. I can only speculate or look at you and assume something. And my grandmother told me once before, when you assume some things, it's not a good thing. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about it, and what should I say to God's people today? And it popped into my head this morning that it's really time for us to take the next step. Started thinking about it in my head, what story could I give? And I realized that there is really no story to give. It's a decision that you have to make. That it's really time for you to take the next step. Sometimes taking the next step is not an easy thing to do. It's very difficult because you're coming out of your comfort zone. You're coming out of the place that you're familiar with, and you're about to move into a place that you're not familiar to. When we moved from Mississippi and came to California in June, I think it was, of 1987, we had to leave our comfort zone in order for us to come to California. We were 3 days on the Greyhound bus, and it was uncomfortable for 3 days. We kept seeing people going in and out the bus. We'd make a stop here and go in and eat something here and go in and do something here. And here you are, you're on the bus and people are just sleeping, and it's just an uncomfortable ride for 2 to 3 days. We arrive in Los Angeles, and it's a culture shock to us because there are people walking through the lobby, and I have never seen a city this big before in my life. We get there, and I'm looking at people, and it's a strange thing. We driving down the street and I'm looking at neighborhoods that don't look nothing like where I'm from. Never seen the streets dirty like this, never seen homeless people before in my life. We finally get to Long Beach and Long Beach is shocking. I ain't never seen anything like this. I'm looking at two men holding hands. We never saw that back home. I'm looking at people with snakes wrapped around their necks and calling them pets. Never seen anything like this before. I'm seeing guys wearing pants and pants come down past their butt, and they looking at people saying this is the way you dress. And I'm seeing people dressed in certain colors, and I ain't never seen that before. We're coming out of our comfort zone, and I'm saying to my mother that day, I think we ought to go back home because this is not it. This ain't it. We need to go back home. And my mother saying, no, we can't go back home. There's nothing else back there for us. And I learned at that moment that it was time for us to take the next step. And for many of you right now, you are unwilling to write the next chapter in your book. God now has completed you at this stage of your life. And now he's telling you it's time for you to write the next chapter. But Pat, but God, I like this chapter. You're like, yeah, but there's more to life than this. It's time for you to write the next chapter. And here you are, you're hesitant, you're frustrated, you're irritated, you're agitated, because I don't know if I can make it on the next level. Well, I came to tell you today, you can make it. You can make it. It's time for you to take the next step. It's time for you to get up from where you are, and it's time for you to go over into your next. It's time for you to make this decision that you're going to take the next step. And sometimes what God does is he raises up people around you to push you into your next. Here I am. I've been telling my son for years, you got three options when you graduate high school, and they all include moving out. You either gonna go off to college and you're moving out. You either gonna get you a job and you're moving out. Or you either gonna go to the military and you're definitely moving out. Now, if you can come up with another option, you can. You got to sit here and bring it to the table to us, but it has to include moving out. He sat and sat and sat for 2 to 3 years and didn't make no decision, and I made one for him. You got to go to the military. That was one of the hardest decisions as a father that I could make for him. And the reason that it was hard for me because nobody in the house agreed with my decision. But it was a decision that was necessary in order for him to get him to his next. I realized that if I let you stay here, that you would stay comfortable, you would stay depending on us, you would stay leaning on us for us to do everything for you, and you would not develop into the person that God has called you to be. So I got to push you to your next. It was hard for me, but it was hard for him too. But here he is now. I take him to the recruiter's office, and if you know anything about Pastor Perryman, I'm upfront, straightforward, don't cut, no chaser. You understand? This is all Crown Royal with no coke in it. You understand? All Jack Daniels with no coke in it. No, straight with no chaser. You understand? Straight with no, I'm laying it out. You're going to go in here, you're going to pass this doggone test. You're not going to play around with this, and you're not going to fail this test because you don't want to go. You're going to go here, you're going to do it, or me and you going to have a different problem. Go in there, and he take care of business or whatever, he get accepted. Now, here he is that Monday, and they have taken him down to Torrance area or LA area, one of those places down there, for him to get sworn in. We get down there that Monday to watch him get sworn in, and the officer gives them an opportunity to back out if they want to. And I'm watching him very closely to see if he's gonna back out, and he doesn't. I'm looking at him. He's the tallest one that's in this group, and he's not backing out. They give you about 10 minutes to talk to the kid after they're sworn in. So here I am, everybody's hugging on him and talking to him and everything. Now I got to take him and walk him off to the side and put my arms around him and say, listen, son, your dad did not want to push you out of the house, but I needed to push you so you can become who God has called you to be. I have carried you as far as I can carry you. Now you got to be carried to your next level, and I cannot do that. And I'm telling him that your dad is hard on you because he sees the potential in you, and I know that you could be better than what you are right now. And I'm telling him that you always got a home with us, but I guarantee you, you're not going to come back because you're not going to want to come back. And there he is. He got tears streaming down his eyes. He goes to boot camp, and you know when they go to the boot camp, you don't get no letters or phone calls from them from a long period of time. Here he is. We finally get it from boot camp. Get a letter from him from boot camp, maybe 6 weeks after he's been there. And in the letter, he's talking about he don't know if he could make it. He wish he had never done wrong and made me force him to go and all of that stuff. And everybody read their part of the letter. I read mine. And I write back to him, son. I'm so glad to hear from you. I'm glad that you're doing well, but I want you to understand that don't you ever write me another letter like this saying that you don't know if you're going to make it. Don't you ever write in another letter that says I did wrong and this is this. Don't you ever write another letter that says you don't know if you're going to make it. We don't get down like that. We don't function like that. That's not who we are. We do all things through Christ that strengthens us. Get that in your head and you are going to make it. Remember, I said it. Let us into the letter back. Next time we get another letter, it comes back. Dad, thank you so much for what you said to me. I passed my test. I qualified for this and I qualified for that. And I'm going to graduate. All happy and everything. The reason being because I had to make the decision that I was going to push him to his next. And I'm talking to somebody today because God has people around you who are pushing you. You've been hit, you've been knocked down, you got your eye black, you got a concussion, you got cut, you got all of these things. And here I am in the corner saying, get back up. The fight ain't over. Get back up. There's still something left in the tank. You can win this battle. You can overcome this depression. You can fight through this health challenge. You can win. Even though the hand that you have looks bad, you can still win. Get back in there. There's more to you. You've been taught how to throw the left, the right, the hook. You've been taught how to throw the body punch. You've been taught how to do it. It's time for you to put your chin up and get back in this fight because you will not lose this fight. You will win. And I'm talking to somebody today. It's time for you to go to your next. You've been in this business long enough. It's time for you to get your own. You've been in this relationship of boyfriend and girlfriend for 4 years, 5 years. It's time for you to take the next step. Well, Pastor, we don't have enough money. Shut up with all the foolishness. You don't have enough money to stay together right now, but you're still together. Why would you miss heaven because you want to live together and not be married? Why would you want to miss heaven trying to cut corners and break God's law? Let me help you today. Just because you're a human doesn't give you the right to rewrite God's law. You can't sit here and live with a man, live with a woman, and do marital things and think you're right in the eyesight of God. Listen to this. The Bible tells us that all fornicators are going to have their part in the lake of fire. You can't rearrange God's rules and God's laws because you think you're a good person. Listen to this. There are a lot of moral people who are not in heaven today. You have to make this decision. It's time for you to take the next step. You can't sit back and say, well, I don't have enough money. I don't know if he the right one. I don't know if she the right one. You've been together 4 years. You ain't going nowhere no matter what. So what you waiting on? What you waiting on? Let me just say it to you like this. What you waiting on? If you take the next step, there are benefits that are attached to you taking the next step. And there's so many today who are watching me. You don't want to take the next step. You're not understanding that God is ready to add to your life. He's ready to bless your life. He's ready to take your life to the next level. But you got to be the one that take the next step. My son, let's go a step further into this. The Bible tells us a story now here. Jesus' disciples are on a ship, and the ship now, they're in the middle of the sea. And they look out across the sea, and they're looking and they see this ghostly type figure walking on the water. Can you see them all in the boat looking at each other like, what in the world is that? Do you see that out there? What is that? They're trying to figure it out, trying to figure that thing out, and they're looking at it, and all of a sudden, that ghostly figure speaks to them. Be not afraid. Be not afraid. It is I. Wait a minute. It's talking to us. It sounds like the master, but I don't know. It's talking to us. I don't know. I don't know if that's really you, Jesus. I don't know if that's really you. And then Peter says, if it be you, if it be you, bid me to come to thee on the water. And the reply came from Jesus, come. Peter is the one that's in the boat. He's looking at everybody else. He hears it. He gets out of the boat. Watch now. And he takes the next step. The next step is now he gets out of the boat. He walks on the water and he's walking toward Jesus. Watch now. See, just because you take the next step does not mean that you're not going to run into some impending dangers. Just because you take the next step does not mean that you're not going to have no issues and no challenges. Just because you take the next step does not mean that you're not going to have no bumps in the road. You're not going to have no pitfalls or some obstacles. They are going to happen. But guess what? If you get out of the boat and take the next step, what you're going to find out is God now has empowered you. The Bible says God made this decision to you and I. I mean, he makes this promise to us. He said he would never leave us, nor would he forsake us. He would be with us even until the end of the world. So guess what you and I have to do? We have to trust God and believe him that if I take this next step, you walking with me. If I take this next step, you talking with me. If I take this next step, you're going to be with me. If I take this next step, you're going to help me along the way. Storms are raging, winds are blowing, the enemy coming after me, but you promised that you would never leave me. You promised that you would be with me even until the end of the world. You promised me. So you're going to take the next step with me. And I'm talking to somebody today. Many of you have helped some people take the next step in their life. You just forgot about it. What do you mean, Pastor? You've had a little baby. And you see the little baby crawling. Now, all of a sudden, the little baby now is not crawling anymore, but the little baby now is standing up, holding on something and walking while it's holding on to a table or holding on to a chair. So you can see that the baby is ready to take the next step. So here's what you do. You hold your arms out toward the baby. Come to mommy. Come to daddy. Come to mommy. Come to dad. Your arms out like this. And the baby now is looking at you. And the baby is gathering enough confidence now in you. The baby is trusting you. The baby now has seen you that when it fell, you ran and picked it up. So the baby is developing confidence. The baby is trusting you. And here you are. Come on, come to mommy, come to mommy, come to mommy. And some of y'all have gotten bold now. You got somebody standing there with the camera now. So when this baby takes his first step, so watch now when the baby lets go of the table, lets go of the chair, and now all of a sudden now the baby starts walking towards you. It's wobbling as it's walking. But it takes that one step. It takes that 2 steps and that 3 steps, and the baby comes into your arms, and here you are. You all happy. Oh my God, you took your first step. You took your first step. Oh my God, mommy is so proud of you. Kissing on the baby, and the baby is all laughing and happy because it took a step, but it's happy and laughing because you happy and laughing. And there you are. You got it on camera. You got it on video. You encouraged the baby to take the next step. If you could encourage the baby to take the next step, if the baby could trust you with his first steps, why can't you trust God with taking your next step? I'm talking to somebody today. Why can't you trust God that he won't let you fall? Why can't you trust God that he won't leave you, that he won't forsake you, that he won't abandon you? Why can't you trust God in taking your next step? For some of you right now, the next step is for you to go head on and get this business started. Listen to this. You've been sitting around here cooking for everybody else. Why don't you go and get your own business started? You've been doing everybody else's hair. Why don't you get your own business started? You've been consulting everybody else, so why don't you get your own business started? Why don't you take the next step? For some of you, taking the next step is just sitting down and researching how to get this vegan business off the ground. For some of you, it's just sitting down and researching, how do I get this hair emporium business started? I'm just going to just do hair, but I'm going to sell hair. I'm not just going to do hair and sell hair, but man, I'm going to create some stuff to go in your hair. You already creating it at home anyway. But you working for somebody else selling real estate. Why don't you take the next step and just research how to get my own started? How to start my own. Sometimes taking the next step is just coming up with a name. I'm talking to somebody today. It's just simply coming up with a name that you're going to write the name down. The name is going to speak volumes about you and about what you do. I'm talking to somebody today. See, McDonald's took the next step and they just came up with the Big Mac back in the days. They with the next step. You understand? People gonna get this. KFC chicken took the next step. It realized during the time and period that people were staying at home at one point and eating and having dinner at the table together. But then when World War II hit, the man is off the war. The wife got to go to work. So the children are at home. She ain't got time to come home and cook. So guess what? KFC prepared the food for them. I'm talking to somebody. They took the next step. Burger King took the next step and said, we'll create a Whopper and we'll let you have it your way. I'm talking to somebody today. They took the next step. They sat down and they thought about it. They wrote out the slogan. They wrote out They created a logo for it. They did the research on it. See, sometimes taking the next step is not as hard as you think it is. It's just sitting down and you really thinking about it. That's taking the next step. Sometimes it's you going to seminars. It's you taking the next step. Sometimes it's you sitting down and coming up with the name of the company. That's you taking the next step. I'm talking to somebody today. You got it on the inside of you. You got it. Chris Brown said, you got it, girl. You got it. You got it. It's on the inside of you. You got it. God endowed you with it. He downloaded it in you. He empowered you to do it. You got it. It's right in you. You got it. But you sitting back and you're watching everybody else progress and prosper. And God has put a legacy on the inside of you. It's time for you to take the next step. It's time for you to take the next step. Listen to this. Madam C.J. Walker took the next step. And guess what she did? She became one of the first black millionaires, as even a black woman millionaire. She became that because she took the next step. I'm talking to somebody today. You better learn to take the next step. Even if you're working for somebody, learn to take the next step. Gather information. Watch what they do. Watch how they do it. What are you doing? You're taking the next step. You're taking the next step. And there's so many who are watching me today. You don't want to take the next step. Let me close at this part right here. Sometimes taking the next step may look like you're taking a step back. What do you mean, Pastor? It may look like I'm taking a step back. See, sometimes taking the next step means that I probably got to go sit under somebody, learn what they know, gather information from them, ask questions of them. Sometimes taking the next step means that I got to go serve somebody else, where God now can deposit what he needs to deposit in me in order for me to get to my next level. One of the things that I learned when I worked at the Marriott Hotel as a cook was I learned this right here. I could anytime the chef would come in and teach a new dish, Curtis, I'm teaching you a new dish. I'm teaching you honey baked salmon. You understand? And you can bake salmon in 7 minutes. I'm gonna get you honey baked salmon. I'm gonna teach you how to make the rice the way it's supposed to be made. And listen, we're gonna put basil leaves on this, and he's showing me everything. The first salmon that I made for him, I burned it in the pot. Tell me that's all right. That's all right. You got the principle down. You know how to do it. And a lot of times we burn stuff at work. But I can go home and take that same recipe that I learned at work and take it home and not burn my pots. See, sometimes God puts you in a position where you get the chance to burn somebody else's pots so you don't burn your own pots. I'm talking to somebody today. He puts you in a place where you can fail in private so that you don't fail publicly. I'm talking to somebody today. So he put you in this space where you can you can learn, where you can be taught. That I dropped the ball over here, but when it's time for me to go to this next level, when it's time for me to take this next step, I will not fail because I failed over there. So I'm not failing publicly when I learn to fail privately. I'm talking to somebody today. See, sometimes taking the next step simply means sometimes it looks as if you're taking a step backwards. But the reality is you're taking a step backwards so that God can propel you forward like you're a slingshot or like you're a bow and arrow. I'm talking to somebody today. Let God propel you to the next level. It's time for you to take the next step. It's time. It's time. It's time for you to take the next step in your personality. It's time for you to take the next step in your relationship. It's time for you to take the next step on your job. It's time for you to take the next step in your marriage. It's time for you to take the next step with your children. It's time for you to take the next step in your relationship with God. It's time for you to take the next step. Here's what God is saying to you. We close with this. He's saying, come unto me, all you who are labored and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. What is he saying? Take the next step. The next step is developing a better relationship with me. Take the next step. God's going to bless your life and take your life to the next level because you got to take this next step. He's calling you. Take the next step. Take the next step. Take the next step and watch what he does for you. He's going to bless you like never before. This is the God that we serve. He loves you more than you love yourself. Hey, that's my time right there. I pray y'all are blessed, encouraged, motivated, and uplifted today. Let me give some shout out to people this morning. Shout out to Miss Desiree Alvarado. Good to see you today. Hey, shout out to my cousin Robert Perryman. And boy, y'all better not lose to the Philadelphia Eagles this week. If y'all lose to the Philadelphia Eagles, y'all already know Y'all can't touch the 49ers. You better have Louis. Shout out to my cousin Robert Perry. Love you, man. Hey, Miss Joanna. Hey, girl. Hey, good to see you, girl. Thank you so much for being on. Miss Gail is in the house. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being on. Robert Herrera, what up, man? Sister Rue, Sister Rue, Sister Rue, Sister Rue, Sister Rue is in the house. Yes, Sister Rue is watching us this morning. Love you, Sister Rue. Good to see you this morning. Thank you so much for being on today. Love you. Man, I miss Sister Ruth. Listen, Pastor Perryman miss you, Sister Ruth. God, I miss you so much. I'm telling you, I do. So good to see you, Sister Ruth. Thank you so much for being on this morning. Miss Bambi is in the house. Good to see you, Miss Jamie Lynn. What up, girl? Good to see you this morning. Thank you so much for being on. Miss Willie Francis Hill is in the house. Hey, my auntie Deborah James is in the house. Y'all say what's up to my auntie. Y'all say, hey, auntie. But I gotta get out of here. I love y'all. Let me give somebody their day. Today belongs to Miss Danetta Hines. Whatever she wants, she gets. Whatever she needs gets supplied. Today is her day. Today also belongs to Sister Ruth. Whatever she wants, she gets. Whatever she needs gets supplied. Today is her day. Show them some love and some appreciation this morning, and I promise you they will be happy and excited about it. All right, listen, I got to get ready to get out of here. We call you blessed from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet. We speak favor, finance, and increase over your life. And we thank God for just blessing you and taking you to the next level. Lord, I pray for the country of Belize. I pray for my town, Itabena, Mississippi, and I pray for the Delta as a whole. God, and I thank you that you're loosing resources and finances into the hands of your people today. Doors are opening for them, windows are opening for them, and you're pouring them out blessings where there shall not be room enough to receive. And I thank you, Father, for it in Jesus' name. And I give you praise and I give you glory for it. And I thank you, Lord, in Jesus' name. Amen and amen. Get your seed in the ground today. Get it in the ground today. Hey, if you want to give, you can give it to the $ Pastor C. Perryman for my wife, Pastor Sophia. Get your seed in the ground today. Please don't let the enemy tell you that you cannot give and that you cannot support. You're sowing into good ground today, and I'm telling you, today really is going to be life changing for you. So get your seed in the ground, Pastor C. Perryman for my wife, Pastor Sophia. You can sow that today again, Pastor C. If you give, you do Cash App, Pastor C. Perryman, or you can do a Pastor Sophia to my wife. She greatly appreciated. If you want to make the decision that, hey, you know what, I'm going to give through Givelify, PayPal, or Zelle, you can do that. Just find Kingdom Life Faith Center and put your seed in the ground there. Make sure you put on the ad on the memo line what your seed is for. So get your seed in the ground there. We appreciate you so much for what you do. Don't forget that we said tomorrow, this Saturday is our vision casting service this Saturday. So we're looking forward to seeing every one of you be a part of our vision casting service. And our vision casting service is vitally important. What it does is reveal to you at what we are doing in 2024. It's going to talk to you about how we're going to get there, goals that we have, your part in it. Listen, if you're a member of our church or partner with our church, or you're looking to see what our church does, you can be a part of the vision casting service. And I'm telling you, we give you the calendar for 2024. We talk to you about all of the goals and plans that we have for 2024. All right. So we appreciate you guys and thank y'all so much for your support. Make sure that men, that you're a part of the mandate. Mandate is important. You got to be a part of mandate. We create an outlet for men to come on and feel safe and secure to talk about their issues and talk about their challenges. One of the things that we're talking about in our next mandate small group is how to thrive in a challenging world. That's going to be Thursday, December the 14th at 6 p.m. So we want you to be a part. And don't forget, the Women of the Kingdom small group is coming up with Pastor Sophia. That's going to be in person on the 22nd. So please be a part of the Women of the Kingdom small group with Pastor Sophia on the 22nd. Friday, the 22nd, so they're going to have food, fun, and fellowship. So y'all make sure y'all are part of that. And I'm telling you, it's going to be incredible and life changing for you. All right. Listen, I need you to be in church Sunday. You got to be a part of this new teaching series that we're doing in church on Sunday called the Crossover Series. The Crossover Series is amazing. So you got to be a part of the Crossover Series. It's going to help your life. You're going to see some things that's going to take place for you in 2024 that's going to bless your life like never before. All right. Hey, I got to get out of here. I love y'all. Oh, and the Bible study series is going to be amazing too. So you got to see the Bible study series, be a part of that. It's our time. It's time to go. to the next level. So you got to be a part of that. I'm telling you, you got to be a part of all of that. And I'm telling you, it's going to bless your life. So I want to see y'all in church Sunday. I want to see you in church Sunday at 12:30 p.m. in person or online with us at 9 a.m. But I need to see y'all. Be blessed, be a part, and watch God take your life to the next level. All right? Hey, I got to get out of here. I love y'all. Be blessed, and we'll see y'all again tomorrow morning. But don't forget, get your seed in the ground today. Get it in the ground today. Please get it in the ground today. You're sowing in the good ground. All right? I got to go. Love y'all. Be blessed. Have a good day.